Far beyond the Milky Way, in a distant galaxy, lay the planet Vora 9, a world teeming with life forms that defied imagination. This planet, located in the Sirius Nebula, had only recently been discovered by humans, who, driven by their insatiable curiosity, had begun to explore its rich and diverse ecosystems. Vora 9 was a wild, untamed world, filled with creatures that resembled Earth's most dangerous animals, but with alien enhancements that made them even more formidable. The Zygorans, an ancient and highly intelligent alien species, had been studying Vora 9 for millennia, fascinated by its unique life forms. The Zygorans believed that Vora 9 was a planet where the natural order had reached its most perfect and dangerous form. They had always viewed the creatures of Vora 9 with reverence and caution, maintaining a respectful distance and never interfering with the natural balance. But then, something unprecedented happened. The Zygorans observed with growing astonishment as humans began to establish colonies on Vora 9. These humans were not content with merely observing the planet's wonders from afar. Instead, they sought to interact with its most terrifying inhabitants and to tame them. The Zygoran High Council, deeply concerned by the potential disruption of Vora 9's delicate ecosystem, dispatched a team of their most skilled researchers to investigate. Led by the experienced and thoughtful Zygor, the team set course for Vora 9, determined to understand why these humans were so intent on taming creatures that even the Zygorans feared. As their ship entered the atmosphere of Vora 9, the Zygorans marveled at the planet's otherworldly beauty. Towering trees with iridescent leaves stretched toward the sky, while bioluminescent plants glowed softly in the twilight. But their focus was on the creatures that roamed the land, beasts that looked like something out of a nightmare. One of the first creatures they encountered was the Valorian fang beast, a creature that resembled an earth lion but much larger, with black scale-like armor covering its body and eyes that glowed a menacing red. Its teeth were not just sharp, but serrated, designed to tear through the toughest hide with ease. To the Zygorans, this was one of Vora 9's apex predators, a creature to be respected and feared. To their astonishment, the humans had not only approached the fang beast, but they had also begun to tame it. The Zygorans watched from the shadows as a human explorer, dressed in reinforced armor, cautiously approached a fang beast with a strange device in hand. The device emitted a soft, melodic tone that seemed to calm the beast. The human extended a hand, offering a piece of meat, and to the Zygorans' amazement, the fang beast accepted the offering, its growl fading into a low purr. Zygor turned to his team, his multifaceted eyes reflecting the light of the planet's twin moons. "This is extraordinary. These humans, they are not just surviving on this planet, they are forming bonds with its most dangerous inhabitants. What drives them to take such risks?" The Zygorans could not understand the human need to connect with such perilous creatures. To them, it seemed a reckless pursuit, one that could easily lead to disaster. But they were determined to find out more, to delve into the minds of these strange beings and uncover the motivations behind their actions. The Zygorans had only scratched the surface of the human colonies on Vora 9, but what they had seen so far both intrigued and alarmed them. These humans had an uncanny knack for adapting to their environment, but their approach to taming Vora 9's dangerous creatures seemed reckless to the cautious Zygorans. Zygor, the team leader, decided that the best way to understand this strange behavior was to observe the taming process in detail. Their first in-depth observation was of a group of colonists attempting to tame the thunder serpent. This creature, native to the dense jungles of Vora 9, was a colossal, snake-like being with scales that pulsed with an electric blue light. The thunder serpent could emit powerful electrical discharges, a defense mechanism that made it nearly impossible to approach without being stunned, or worse. It was a creature that embodied the raw, untamed power of Vora 9. The Zygorans followed a group led by Dr. Elara Stone, a seasoned xenobiologist who had become something of a legend among the colonists for her ability to tame the most ferocious beasts. Elara was not a reckless thrill-seeker. She was a scientist driven by a deep desire to understand and connect with the alien creatures of Vora 9. But her methods were unconventional. even by human standards. The process began with careful observation. For weeks, Alara and her team studied a specific thunder serpent from a distance. They noted its patterns, its habits, and most importantly, the triggers that caused it to unleash its deadly electrical charge. Using this data, they developed a plan to approach the creature without provoking it. The key to their success was a device known as the harmonic resonator. This piece of technology emitted a series of low-frequency sounds that mimicked the thunder serpent's natural communication signals. By gradually introducing these sounds, the humans hoped to communicate their intentions to the creature in a way it could understand, signaling that they were not a threat. On the day of the taming attempt, Zygor and his team watched from a concealed location as Alara and her team approached the thunder serpent's lair. The creature lay coiled around a massive tree, its glowing scales illuminating the dark jungle. As the humans drew closer, the thunder serpent's eyes narrowed, and a soft hum of electrical energy began to build around its body. Alara activated the harmonic resonator, and the air was filled with a deep, resonating tone that echoed through the jungle. The thunder serpent paused, its electric charge flickering uncertainly. Slowly, Alara extended her hand, holding a small device that pulsed in sync with the resonator's tones. The serpent's gaze locked onto the device, its body tensing as if ready to strike, but it remained still. "Easy now," Alara whispered, her voice calm and soothing. She took another step forward, closing the distance between her and the creature. The resonator continued its rhythmic hum, and gradually the thunder serpent's tension began to ease. The electrical charge dissipated, and the serpent lowered its head slightly, a sign that it was no longer viewing the humans as an immediate threat. Zygor watched with a mix of awe and concern. The thunder serpent was a creature of immense power, and yet these humans were attempting to communicate with it on a level that defied logic. "They're not just trying to dominate the creature," Zygor mused to his team. "They're trying to understand it, to form a connection. But can such a connection truly be stable?" The next phase of the taming process involved direct interaction. Alara slowly moved closer, the harmonic resonator still active. She extended her hand, offering a small, glowing orb of energy, an edible source of sustenance specifically designed to appeal to the thunder serpent's unique biology. The serpent hesitated, its forked tongue flicking out to taste the air before finally accepting the offering. It consumed the orb in one swift motion, its eyes never leaving Alara. With the initial connection established, Alara and her team spent the next several hours in close proximity to the serpent, allowing it to grow accustomed to their presence. They made no sudden movements, spoke in low tones, and maintained the harmonic frequency that had initially calmed the beast. The thunder serpent, in turn, began to display more relaxed behaviors. Its coils unwrapped from the tree, and it stretched its massive body along the ground, showing no signs of aggression. By the end of the day, the serpent had allowed Alara to touch its scales, a significant milestone in the taming process. The creature, once a symbol of unbridled power, was now beginning to show signs of trust, a trust that had been painstakingly earned through patience, understanding, and respect for its nature. Zygor was impressed by the human's dedication and ingenuity, but he remained cautious. "They've managed to calm this creature," he said to his team, "but they must be aware that its instincts can never be fully tamed. The bond they're forming is fragile, and if it's broken, the consequences could be dire." Over the following weeks, the Zygorans continued to observe as Alara's team deepened their bond with the thunder serpent. The creature became more comfortable around the humans, even allowing them to ride on its back as it moved through the jungle. The colonists celebrated these successes, viewing them as proof that even the most dangerous of Vora 9's creatures could be tamed. But the Zygorans knew better. They understood that the relationship between the humans and the thunder serpent was built on a delicate balance of trust and power. Any misstep, any breach of that trust could lead to disaster. Yet, they also saw potential in the humans' approach. If done with care, these bonds could lead to a deeper understanding between species, even on a world as wild as Vora 9. As the Zygorans prepared to expand their observations to other creatures and human efforts across the planet, they couldn't help but feel a sense of admiration for the humans. They were bold, resourceful, and above all, driven by a desire to connect with the unknown. But they were also walking a fine line, one that could easily crumble beneath them if they were not careful. The true test, Zayler realized, would come not in the taming of these creatures, but in maintaining the fragile peace they had established. The humans had shown they could forge bonds with the most untamable of beasts, but only time would tell if those bonds could endure the inherent dangers of Vora 9. As the months passed, the human colonies on Vora 9 flourished. The tamed alien creatures became an integral part of their lives, serving not only as pets, but also as guardians of their homes and allies in their explorations of the planet. However, the Zygorans' fears began to materialize. It started with a single incident. A Valorian fang beast, once tamed and docile, suddenly turned on its human caretaker. The beast, which had been raised from a cub, lashed out without warning, injuring several colonists before it was subdued. The incident sent shockwaves through the colony, raising questions about the safety of their practices. The Zygorans observed as tensions rose among the humans. Some argued that the taming of these creatures was too dangerous and that they should be left in the wild where they belonged. Others, particularly those who had successfully bonded with their pets, insisted that the benefits outweighed the risks. Zayler and his team debated whether to intervene. They had sworn not to interfere with other species, but they also felt a responsibility to warn the humans of the potential dangers they faced. After much deliberation, Zayler decided to make contact with the human leaders. Using their advanced technology, the Zygorans revealed themselves to a select group of human colonists, including Dr. Alara Stone. The humans were stunned by the appearance of the Zygorans, but they listened intently as Zayler explained their concerns. "These creatures," Zayler began, "are not like the animals you know from Earth. They are more intelligent, more volatile, and their bond with you is fragile. You may believe you have tamed them, but their nature remains wild. You must tread carefully, or you risk a catastrophe." Dr. Stone, who had developed a deep connection with the Thunder Serpent, was conflicted. "We've worked so hard to create these bonds," she said. "But if what you say is true, we must reconsider how we interact with these creatures. We must find a balance that respects their nature." The Zygorans offered their knowledge and insights, helping the humans understand the complexities of the creatures they had tamed. They taught the humans new methods of coexistence, ones that emphasized mutual respect and understanding, rather than dominance and control. With the guidance of the Zygorans, the human colonists began to change their approach to taming the creatures of Vora 9. They realized that true harmony could only be achieved by respecting the creatures' innate behaviors and instincts, rather than trying to suppress them. The colonists adopted new practices that allowed the creatures to retain their independence while still forming bonds with humans. They built larger, more natural habitats, allowing the creatures to roam freely within the boundaries of the colony. The humans also developed new technologies that enabled safer interactions, reducing the risk of sudden attacks. Over time, a new harmony emerged on Vora 9. The creatures, now treated as partners rather than pets, began to trust the humans more deeply. The incidents of violence decreased, and the colony flourished once again, this time with a greater understanding of the planet's unique ecosystem. The Zygorans, satisfied with the progress, prepared to leave Vora 9. Before they departed, Zayler met with Dr. Stone one last time. "You have shown great wisdom in adapting your ways," Zayler said. "The bond you now share with these creatures is one of mutual respect. It is a model for how different species can coexist, even in the face of great differences." Dr. Stone nodded, grateful for the Zygorans' guidance. "We still have much to learn," she admitted. "But with your help, we've taken the first step toward a future where humans and the creatures of Vora 9 can live in peace." As the Zygoran ship ascended into the skies above Vora 9, the planet below shimmered with the light of a new dawn. The humans, now wiser and more attuned to the world around them, continued to build a life in harmony with the terrifying yet magnificent creatures that had once been their greatest challenge. And in the vastness of space, the Zygorans moved on, ready to explore the next mystery of the universe, content in the knowledge that they had helped create a new chapter in the story of human exploration.